So fans have hated the Cowboys' approach in the offseason in terms of acquiring free agents, and that's cool and all, but I kind of like the idea, man. If we have faith in our team to do anything, is to draft appropriately, and with some of the loss of our players, we get compensatory picks. I know we should be getting a pretty big one for the Randy Gregory pick. Then there's the other picks. We'll just cross that road whenever we get there. But the one thing that happens with those picks in relation to the free agents, that if you lose Randy Gregory but you sign another big free agent, then you won't be compensated. That's the point of calling them compensatory picks. You know, you want to compensate for that level of player being lost. But I like what the Cowboys have done, because once the draft is over, then you are no longer on the hook for that, compensation loss or whatever, right? So now we can sign free agents willy-nilly because, we haven't signed anybody prior to the draft. So we get to keep that third rounder for Randy Gregory, that possible third rounder. It better be for Randy Gregory. And, we can sign free agents now. And there are plenty free agents available that are worth our time. And we're going to look at them right now. Yeah. All right, so we're not going to look at everybody on this list because the Cowboys, Cowboy fandom gets kind of weird, right? They be like, Voch, can we sign all 9 of these free agent dudes and see what happens? I don't think the Cowboys are going to navigate in that way, because to be fair, we have a team that's ready to roll right now. You take the Cowboys fresh out the pack and just put them on the field. We can play right this instant, but we do have the option to sign more players here. We're going to talk about some of those free agent dudes. So, someone was asking, well, Voch, should we look at Odell Beckham as a free agent guy? I don't think Odell Beckham is a guy that fits what we're doing here. I know that locker room is a big thing to the front office, and I think Odell Beckham, I don't know if he would have been signed already, but he's coming off the ACL injury. He got an ACL in the Super Bowl, so you wouldn't be able to sign Odell, or at least he wouldn't be able to play towards the middle or the end of the season. So I would imagine that's when he'll get picked up, if he were to be picked up. He did some interesting little things with the Rams when he was with the Rams. So I don't deny that there would be a market for Odell Beckham. I still think Odell is Odell, and he's 29 years old. So if you can get him for a cheap price, then that's possibly a thing, but I don't think that's something that the Cowboys want to do. I'm going to skip straight over Dwayne Brown because he plays tackle and he's 37 years old. But James Bradberry is a guy that, Cowboy fans have been asking me about. We'll probably put James Bradberry in the title somewhere, because, we know what gets, clicks around here. But James Bradberry was a guy, and this is the thing about corner, man. It's like when you have a great corner, excluding like a Reeves type guy, but it's like every year there's always this corner that just kind of shows up out of nowhere, and they're good for a little while and then they're gone. Josh Norman was a guy that was like that. So James Bradberry was a guy that's had some solid production. Like as of late, I think he made the Giants defense a little more respectable, but I think there's a reason that they want to cut him. They want to save some money, and I feel like if they're definitely not in win now mode at all anyway. But I would imagine that, if James Bradberry was the guy that you thought he was when he was playing at his top tier Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl level, Pro Bowl caliber, then you would assume that he would be worth that money. But the Giants are just willing to part ways with him. And I think that's something else that we have to understand. Like expectations work in this way also is, this is the after draft class of free agent dudes. So these dudes they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be superstars. They're not going to be great, necessarily. So just as much as they won't demand big money from you, they probably won't give you big play. So that's that. So, and then James Bradberry, how does he fit in the room, in Dallas already? We already seen Anthony Brown have his job on the line and not really give his job up. And, if you want to go and compete for a slot or something like that, Kelvin Joseph is there if you want to compete with him, but he's young. Trey Diggs caught 11 interceptions last year. Good luck with that. I just don't see Bradberry just coming in and being a guy, so I don't consider him being a guy that we would look at. Jadeveon Clowney is a guy that I don't consider that we look at. Neither is Melvin Ingram. Maybe Melvin Ingram, if Melvin wants to play for $28, we'll bring him in. Or Jadeveon. I think Jadeveon is looking for a little bit of money also. There was a report, my hotline bling from Bleacher Report, they told my phone or whatever. They was like, yeah, the Cowboys had interest in Jason Pierre-Paul, but no longer because they had drafted Sam Williams. So in my mind, if Jason Pierre-Paul is a guy that's off the table because you have Sam Williams, then Jadeveon and Melvin Ingram are guys that are also off the board, in my personal opinion. Yeah, Gronkowski is there, but come on now, Cowboys. Jarvis Landry. No, I don't think Jarvis Landry is a guy neither. I think that's what James Washington was. So, no, good on Jarvis Landry. Jerry Hughes, possibly, but he's a little older. You know, if he's a $38 guy, then we'll talk about it. But he plays edge, so he's another dude in that group that I don't think will be around for us. Akiem Hicks we could talk about. Just and we talk about Cowboys and the new culture that we're trying to build, and we're trying to do new things. We're trying to stop the run. We're trying to be more physical. If you want an older dude to come in and kind of be like a guidance tool for Quinn Bohanna or John Ridgeway, then this can make a little bit of sense. You can put Carlos Watkins at his native one tech, but if you want just like a zero space eating pluggy type of guy, then Akiem Hicks can be that guy for you. I don't mind this at all. Hey, I didn't know that he was still a free agent, but hey, if you want to talk about some Akiem Hicks, then we can do that. And that'll keep you from relying on young dudes in the middle the whole time. So that can be a thing. Trey Flowers, don't see it. JC Tretter, I can see being a thing. I know there's a lot of y'all, and we're going into anybody but Biadasz territory, and I need y'all to get out of that territory. Don't make me drop a film session to, kind of, fix y'all a little bit. But JC Tretter, he's a little older now. He wasn't what he once was, but if you feel like he's an upgrade over Tyler Biadasz, then by all means. Do the Cowboys think he's an upgrade over Tyler Biadasz? I don't know. And then something else, too. JC Tretter works with the NFL player police, the player commission thing or whatever, the CBA joint that's run by the players. JC Tretter is, he's on that group of football Illuminati dudes. And hey man, if the Cowboys have players that like to gamble and shoot dice in the bathroom, then that may not be a good thing for JC Tretter to be around. So you never know. Will Fuller, nah. Fuller missed time in 2021 due to PED suspension and a personal issue and a broken finger. That sounds like a mess. Cowboys don't want none of that. Cowboys don't want none of that. But the man sure can run fast. You got to be the stupidest son bitch alive, but he sure is fast. Shouts out to Forrest Gump. Eric Fisher's here. I just don't see us going towards offensive line. The Julio Jones discussion probably would be a real life discussion, but he gets hurt every year. He gets hurt, and of course Julio isn't who Julio once was, but if Julio is a number 2 receiver for you, can Julio be the guy? There were moments in Tennessee where Julio looked like Julio Jones, but he was only healthy enough to catch 31 passes. And you know what? That's another thing too. Like, the Titans had to trade picks to get Julio Jones. They gave up draft compensation for Julio Jones, and that dude simply just ain't good no more. He just gone. They didn't try to keep Julio. They cut him. Julio just flat out got cut. So I don't think a dude that you just flat out cut is a guy that's gonna flat out be around. So I'm not seeing it. Anthony Barr is someone that we could possibly have a conversation about, but your question would come from how often would you play him? Anthony Barr is a guy that, he was like a Sam linebacker type of dude, to where he did linebacker things, but he also did like pass rushy things. I don't think the Cowboys use Sam linebackers very much, especially at this point in his career. I don't think he's retained enough athleticism, to do Mike things. Now, do we need Mike linebackers? For sure, because if Michael was to ever rush somewhere else, we need somebody to fill that spot in. But how often do we play base 4-3 to where we'll have 2 linebackers and just the third guy being a standing almost pass rushy kind of guy? I think it'll be interesting, if we go this route. I mean, the George Edwards connection is a real life thing. If y'all want to cross that road, we can. But I just don't see it in Anthony Barr. The game changing splash plays are mostly gone. These dudes are free agents for a reason. Still, Barr is a rare linebacker who can rush, tackle, and cover, barely leaving the field. And that's the big thing about this. We're not talking about Anthony Barr when he was coming out of UCLA. We're talking about Anthony Barr years of being in, Minnesota or whatever. So that's a conversation that we got to have about that. I'm getting old. I don't think Justin Houston is a guy. I don't think Sheldon Richardson is a guy. I think Sheldon Richardson was Cowboys were looking into some of his off-the-field issues, and they chose not to go that route last year. So that's the thing. Look, man, and Dominique Easley an old man now, but every time he goes somewhere, they go on a Super Bowl run. So I don't think it's weird or anything like that to have a little faith and Ndamukong Suh. I immediately have a soft spot for Ndamukong Suh, who was absolutely the Bucks' best defensive player in their playoff loss versus the Rams. He still shows up in big moments. Hey, I'm cool. Hey, wherever Ndamukong Suh plays, the other dude on that D line, the 3-tech, the defensive ends, they normally do better. I don't think Ndamukong Suh comes in as the Ndamukong Suh he once was, or the Ndamukong Suh that was a Ram, or the Ndamukong Suh that was a Buck. But you just take Ndamukong Suh and just be like, hey, $38 a year. But I don't think Ndamukong Suh will make $38 a year, so that's the thing. Larry Ogunjobi could make $38 a year, but I don't think he will. But he's another guy that can do some interior D-line things that can possibly, do some. Because if you look at the Cowboys D-line rotation towards the end of the year, guys were only getting like 20 snaps per game. And if that's going to be the thing, if we're just going to, constantly rotate 10 to 12 or so guys, then I'd like for Larry Ogunjobi to be in that conversation. But if you want to go with the youth side, then we'll just run with Ridgeway and Bohanna. Y'all notice that the common theme here is that I'm only trying to upgrade like one tech. Like there's not many other positions that I feel like we need to upgrade, but maybe I'm wrong there. Dante Hightower, Riley Reeve, all right, cool. And there's an off the market segment. Okay, these are dudes that have signed and got money and things like that. Yeah, we don't care about that. So yeah, Cowboy Nation, that is kind of how I feel about the remaining or so free agent guys. I know there are some people that hit me on the Twitter machine. I reached out and I asked everybody for questions. We're going to cross that on the volume one day on a live stream. Voch, what free agents are you looking at? Who do you like? Well, that's what this video is for. This is for you guys to know how I feel about some of these free agents. Do I take a shot on any of them? Nah. Do I think the Cowboys take a shot on any of them? Nah. If they do take a shot, where would it be? Probably defensive tackle, and that's how I feel. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. If you tap in with us tomorrow, we're going to be live reacting or just giving our thoughts on the schedule release because I know y'all are into that kind of stuff. Make sure to hit all the algorithm buttons, the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and do so on the Voch Lombardi page as well. We go live Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Central. This probably has dropped at 3 p.m. Central, so that's that. Also, follow the Volume social medias. Follow Voch on social media, VOCHLOMBARDI. Also, my non-football content lives on Twitch, twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. All right, come see me. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey. Till next time, Volume.